People always ask me, how the heck do we manage to keep our labor below 20% of our annual sales? Well, it's pretty easy, actually. It's a function of one of two things. One, your average ticket price, and two, how many tickets do you require that each of your employees do on an hourly basis. Let's just say, hypothetically, your average ticket price is $15 an hour. For us, we require our employees to do at least 10 tickets per hour before we'll give them another employee to help. So in that situation, 10 tickets times 15 bucks an hour, or $15 a ticket, would be $150 per hour that a single employee would be able to do before we would then say, okay, it's time to bring in another employee. Now, the relationship between your average ticket and your average rate of pay, your average ticket should always be higher than your average rate of pay, because then if you bring in another employee, you will always be under 20%. Let me give you an example. If one employee does $150 and you pay them $15 an hour, because your average ticket is $15, that's only 10% labor on that $150 made. But then you say, okay, well, what if they do $165? They do one extra ticket, Chad, 11 tickets. And so I have to bring in another employee, right? Well, if that other employee also only cost me $15, you're now at $30. $30 divided by $165 is still less than your 20%. So if you always stick to that rule, you're going to be in good shape. The flip side of that is what's the minimum number of tickets that my employees can do to still stay under? Well, it's simple math. You just multiply it by 5. Anything multiplied by 5 is going to be 20%. So in this instance, an employee has to do at least $75, 5 times 15, in order to keep under that 20% range. The difficult thing is during the winter, you may not be able to do 5 tickets an hour, and you're going to drop below that $75 per hour, and then you're starting to see your labor get into the, 20s and 30s, and maybe even up to 40s and 50s on your labor. So good rule of thumb is always maintain that your average rate that you're paying your employees, average rate of pay, is less than your average ticket price. If those things are out of whack, either you're paying too high in your labor or your average ticket price is too low, which then usually tells you you need to adjust your pricing. Raise your prices higher than your average rate of pay, and I guarantee you'll be able to keep your labor rate below 20%. If you need help with that, send me a message. I'll be happy to help you out.